Coming up, a cool new knife from Dirk Pinkerton and asymmetric, a fire roll, a what's it called? A tool roll. Sorry about that. A tool roll from Raging Fire. It's pretty cool. I like it. I'm turning it into a survival kit. And we're going to talk about, have we reached peak knife? We've talked about this. We've had this very same topic on this very same show, but it was years ago. And I'm curious now. And I realize that my asking this is informed by the fact that right now, it's not so much about innovation or new things or new locks or new steels that's interesting to me. To me, it's design. And I've seen some cool designs, but I'm curious what you guys think. Have we peaked here? OG Blade Reviews. Dave is here first. Good to have you here, man. Evening knife enthusiast. We may have reached the plateau, actually, but yet there I go buying another. I can't do without. Yeah, no kidding. Like me personally, I have not hit the plateau, but have we out there? Perhaps. Fishbag, good to have you here, Craig. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Howdy to you, sir. Also, we're going to be giving away a knife thanks to Dave of OG Blade Reviews. Marco, nice to have you here. Marco says, evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. We will be giving away this beautiful petrified fish. This is from a new box of really cool knives that Dave just sent me. I did a video about them today. I'll be putting that up tomorrow or Saturday. But this one we are giving away. I want to jump on it. This new batch of knives. This one is so cool. He sent me 4 beautiful petrified fish and a couple of Civivis and a Sen cut. Thank you again, Dave. As always, he has really kept this giveaway going with his generosity. But this one is ultra cool. We've got a clip point with a harpoon. This is K110, which is analogous to D2 steel, but made by Bowler. This one is got G10 liner lock, that very cool lanyard with a bead and the whole 9 yards on bearings. A very cool knife. This is an all access giveaway. That means anyone who's here tonight can win this knife. It's not just for Gentlemen Junkies, as we do every third Thursday of the month. So just type #knife in the comments or in the chat, and you will be thrown in the hopper to win this very cool knife. Thanks to Dave of OG Blade Reviews. James Hart, nice to have you here, James, as always. Greetings all. Everyone is sharp and rust-free. Yes, indeed, I am. This will be interesting, says James. Well, James, let me know what you think. It's funny because some of us have tastes that expired centuries ago. And James, I'm not referring to you in particular, but I like a lot of old knives. So I might be inclined to think we've hit peak knife, but we'll talk about it. SOBX Scooter, good to have you here, Scooter. Hey, y'all, he says. Well, hey to you, man. Hope you're doing well. Matholomew Roberts, Matt, good to have you here. Happy Thursday night, knives. Bob, Jimmy Notes, and Junkies. Don't think we've reached peak knife. Always something new and cool coming out. May have reached peak attention capture saturation, though. That's the phrase. I paused before I jump now. Yeah, I like that. Peak attention saturation. Could be that's what it is. James Hart says, well, when them old fellas figured out how to make a knife from obsidian, flint, or chert, I bet they thought it was the way to go. What can be better? Yeah, maybe they thought they were at peak knife. They're like, look at what we invented. How could it possibly get any better? Sword XXXY, good to have you here, Sword. Good day, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. I don't think we've reached the peak yet. A plateau, maybe. Yeah, maybe the peak is never there, considering it's a tool that we will always have a need for, and a tool that there will always be junkies for. And so maybe that twain never shall meet, as they say. An American Father, good to have you here, American Father. Good Thursday night knives, friends, Bob and Jim. Even if you collect all of the greatest knives, in quotes, the true joy doesn't start until you build a skill set and take them along with your knives out into the wild. I believe that. Pardon me. I believe that. I have a lot of tactical and fighting knives, and they mean more to me because I've done a lot of that sort of, well, collie training, possible solutions with a knife. I know everyone around the world has their own system of fighting with the knife. I've learned the Filipino system, like it a lot, and see how it corresponds with the American Bowie system. And but the satisfaction I get from that, I could see glimpses of that in the satisfaction I get carving fat wood and starting a fire just in the backyard of my suburban lot here. But I could see what you mean, American Father. Scott, good to have you here, Scott. Scott E. Dog says, hi to all you swell girls and guys. Oh, obsidian knives. Now you're talking, James. The choice of surgeons and cavemen, leaving us in the middle. Yeah, no doubt. They say some of the sharpest blades are those obsidian napped blades. James says, and at the time, obsidian was the peak of the knife world. Yeah, no doubt. So this whole knife junkie thing goes back 40,000 years at least. James says, and that lasted at least for knives up to the beginning of the Iron Age. That's amazing. I mean, think of this. Every one of us watching is the product of century after century of successful mating by our ancestors. So we are all, even if we're feeling low on ourselves, just remember, yeah, you're the product of 40,000 years of breeding. And here you are, with your iPhone, able to do stuff that those people never could have imagined. So, that's a good pick me up if you're ever feeling low. Richard, good to have you here, Richard Lynn. He says, good Arvo, Robert James, and gentlemen. Well, good Arvo to you, my man. I hope you're doing well. Cat Scratch, good to have you here, Cat Scratch. Hello, everybody, says Cat Scratch. Well, I say hello to you. And my little gato Luna is right outside begging to come in, but she would just cause a fuss and knock knives off the table. Scott says, I would like to get one someday. They have a beauty all of their own. And like Bob, too many is never enough. And when going all in as a collector, yeah, too many is enough at some point, but not yet. Cat Scratch says, definitely not reached peak knife. All right, cool. I'm thinking like, maybe that's a sign of aging, but it's like, where could we go from here? We've done it all. I swear. The button lock, that changes it all. We're done. Split and Slices. Byron, nice to have you here, Byron. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Thursday Night Knives. Love the new warning/judgment designs. Jim. Oh, okay. Yes, I think there will be a plateau this year, but not peak yet. Nice. Fishbag says, I don't know if we've reached peak in the state of the art, but we seem to have reached a saturation point with what already is. How many under $75 G10 cross bar locks can the earth accommodate? That's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah. It's like how they say the average person in the world is a 28-year-old male Chinese person. It's kind of the same thing here. I mean, if all of the population approximations of China are actually true. I've heard some interesting things about, well, if you have a one-child policy for 60 years, how can your population explode by fivefold, over 60 years? So interesting question. But the point is, what is the point? I don't remember. Split and Slices says, we have Magnamax Pro Cut and TK/collab steel still to market /buy. Tim Kell/collab steel. Wait, what is that? I don't know about this. Please let me know, Byron. What is that? Is that a special steel Tim's working on? Or am I just saying TK because that's what's familiar? Michael Elliott, good to have you here, Michael. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. I don't know if we've peaked, but I know I will keep buying interesting blades. Well, that's what it comes down to. That, sir, is what it comes down to. James says, that's my problem. I'm trying to cut back, and I've sold 2 knives. but every so often I see a knife that just speaks to me. Me too. And you never know where it's going to come from. James says, my next purchase will be a parang, not because I need it, but because I like the design and how useful it can be. Who did I just see released a cool new parang at SHOT Show? Dadgummit, who was it? It was cool. And I haven't watched too many. I could figure it out, James. So I've seen some cool new parangs coming out recently. Pardon me, Hag 90. Good to have you here, Hag. Thursday night knives, or no, the Knife Junkie. Can you check out the Blade HQ knives slug? I got rid of most of my knives and settled on this design in 01. A classic tool steel for me. No longer buying the hype. Wait, what is this? I don't know what this is. Hag is BHK. Wait. Blind Horse Knives slug. I got rid of most of my knives and settled on this design in 01. Classic steel for me. No longer buying the hype. Well, how do you like it? I'm curious, Hag. I would love to check it out, but I have not seen it. I don't know any. Is it Battle Horse knives or something like that? Anyway, let me know in the comment. Is it Battle Horse knives? And what do you think of it? Northern Knives, good to have you here, Mike. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Happy to be at another Thursday Night Knives. Well, it's great to have you here, Mike. And wait, what is this? Battle Horse Slug, Saber Ground, Elk, number 11. Elk handle. That's a freaking beautiful knife, man. Have I checked it out? I have not. I don't know what steel it is. Not that it would matter too much for my purposes, but this is something I love about DLT and other companies like DLT Trading. They're showing you each individual knife from that run, and you can buy the individual knives depending on their elk handles, specific to that specimen itself. So very cool. But it looks like a beautiful outdoor knife, which my appreciation for is growing. Just your sort of average outdoor camping and hunting knife. Sean Humphrey, good to have you here, Sean. He says, got the Cold Steel Voyager XL Tanto plain edge on the way after watching your Lynn Thompson interview from a while back. Cheers, Sean. Thank you, man. I say thank you because that's a huge compliment to me that you would buy that knife, which is great. You will love it. But after that interview, which is still one of the most special interviews I ever did. Love it. Split and Slices. Byron says, kudos, as always, OG Blade Reviews for the donations and support. Yes, every week, pretty much every week for at least a year, we've been doing a giveaway every Thursday Night Knives because of OG Blade Reviews, Dave's generosity. He sends me so many knives to give away to you guys. So you got to thank him. You got to follow him. You got to give him some love. I'm sure you already do. Brown Sugar 0069. Good to have you here, Brown Sugar. Hope you're doing well. Hello, Bob and Jim. Hello to you. I like your little alien with the headphones. Looking good. Lone Star Dowboy from Turkey. Good to have you here, Lone Star. You will have to pry my knives from my cold steel hands. Yes. I'm with you, sir. Waylon Godfrey. Good to have you here, Waylon. Hey, guys. Hey, Bob. Good to have you here, Waylon. Scott says, wow, gorgeous harpoon. Dave, you are generous gents. We appreciate you very much. Yeah. And he's talking about tonight's giveaway knife, the 3.6 inch at least. This is the 969. I remember there was a really cool Porsche in the 80s, the 959 maybe. Now I don't remember. But anyway, beautiful. It's got this really nice lanyard with the ring on it and a beautiful blade. We're gonna give this away tonight with a hashtag knife. I'm sorry, I just missed the comment. Just kind of going off. Jara Beatus 48. Good to have you here, Jara. Considering there are lots of producers of steel, does anyone know who produces the highest quality, most consistent product? Bowler, CPM, Carpenter, Aerosteel, Sandvik, etc. Interesting question. To me, and this is based on absolutely nothing but how often I hear it, I would say CPM, Bowler, Sandvik Yes, for sure. Carpenter, I know with smaller, but also very well respected. But that would be very interesting to find out. Fred Ferbemeyer, good to have you. Fred, I need your address, Fred. You won last week. You won a knife here last week. Send me your address, TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com, Fred. Fred, send me your address. I want to get this out to you, sir. You won a sweet knife, also thanks to Dave. So send me your address. Gary Balmain, how you doing, sir? We have a gentleman junkie with us. One of favorites is the petrified fish. #knife. Petrified fish makes a lot of really cool knives. A very bizarre name, bizarre name, but excellent manufacturing. Dave sent me not only this knife, but he sent me the Victor, the Viking, and then an automatic that's really cool. We'll be giving that one away here too, but it's got to be, I don't know, the giveaway for an automatic knife, a little tricky, depending on where it's going. Gary Bucode, good to have you here, Gary. Greetings from my forged fiefdom, he says. Knife junkies, one and all. Yes, Gary, a pleasure, sir. And I like your little, you need a little fanfare with that. Pocket Privilege EDC, good to have you here, Pocket. What's Thursday Night Knives? What's up, man? I love your podcast on well, man. Thank you so much, Pocket Privilege. It's Spotify. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much, man. That means a lot to me. I'll listen to it all day at work. Wow, that's cool because Pocket Privilege. Let me just tell you, I listen to other people's podcasts all day at work or in the car, or whatever. And so when I hear someone else doing that with this show, it makes me feel great. So thank you, sir. Scott Winters, good to have you here, Scott. Hello from Virginia Beach. #knife. I love Virginia Beach. I've only been there once, and it was in the winter. I know I mentioned this last time, but I had a lot of fun. I was there for a volleyball tournament, and I was staying right on the beach, right near that Poseidon statue. And I was, adequately nerdy when I walked up to the Poseidon statue and asked it to bring me back home to Mother Ocean to embarrass my daughter. It worked well. Edgy American, good to have you here, Edgy American Blades. We have Shane with us. He is also a member. You can tell from that little symbol right after his name. He's a member here on YouTube. He says, if we haven't reached peak knife, I believe we are very close. Now, for some reason, we've already exceeded necessary. Oh, I mean, we exceeded necessary a long time ago. But Shane always keeps things real, and he is also a knife maker. So, I mean, he's being honest because it behooves him to sell knives. But yeah, we're getting close. I would agree. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, well, first of all, hello, sir. Hope you're doing well. Good evening, gentlemen junkies. I'm hoping everyone is having a great Thursday night knives. Thank you, good sir. Sorry, all this talking gets me a little gaseous. Dan Satermo, good to have you here, man. It's been a while. Good to have you back. Amen, brother. And knives are very primal, like fire. Yes, yes, sir. And then when you make a fire with a knife, it feels even better. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, that was a great analogy, Bob. I'm hoping there's something left for the next generation. Yes, we'll make sure that there is. Terminator Joe says, sorry I'm late. Good evening, brothers. There's no limit to the collection. There's still a lot out there, old and new. That's true. That's true. And Terminator Joe, among other things, is a cold steel collector, and that is a deep catalog. So yeah, he can keep collecting for a long time. Thomas Wheeler, good to have you here, sir, with that hollow point and the Glock pointing straight at me. I love that. Every time it gets me. Evening all, he says. Well, good evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing great. Joseph says, good evening, Joseph. Good evening to you, sir. Hope everything is going well. I love that picture of you and your dog here. Panamerid 3681. Pana, good to have you here. Yes, we've reached peak knife. Jim Bowie, if you want a big one. Daniel Winkler, if you want a small one. That's a great, man. If only we could all see life like that through that filter. Yes, that would be perfect. Edgy American Blade says, I think to progress much more. I think to progress much more, we will have to move past the current definition of a knife as we know it. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean, Shane? Lasers? Do we need lasers on our knives, or do you mean like move from folders? I'm interested. Icomanian, oh man, Ike Momanian. Good to have you here, man. Yeah, he's been with us a long time, taught us the definition. Ike Momania is the love of knives. I'm currently hooked on HF. Is that Hoffner? What is HFB? Something Hoffner, something Blades? What is that? What is that? Benedict Odie, good to have you here, sir. Good evening, junkies. Good evening to you, sir. Oh, all right. Well, Ben does all of the merch for Terzuola Designs, and I love one of my favorite objects of possession. Yeah, I don't have it here. I guess I brought it upstairs, but my Terzuola coffee mug, so cool, handmade. Go check it out at terzuoladesign.com. Dragoon, nice to have you here, Dragoon LSK. Evening, Bob. GTSY, as always. What is that? What is that? Let me know what that is. Sometimes I'm a bit clueless when it comes to acronyms. Even though I live near DC, where, acronym city. Sean Clark, pleasure to have you here, Sean. He said, oh, thank you. Glad to see you. I love it. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Hope everyone had a good week. Got my Nitro V 001 this week. Love it. Oh, yes. Sweet, man. I hope you carry it a lot and that it treats you well. Let me silence this. Gary Bucco says, a complete peak is not for me. Sorry, I will be a junkie till I die or go home. Yes, Gary. Me too. I mean, peak knife doesn't mean for us, the collectors. We will always be scratching for a new blade. But I'm wondering if the industry thinks we've done enough. That's what I'm talking about. Todd Carr, pleasure to have you here, Todd. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, man. Hope you're doing well. Byron says, Work Tough Gear had upcoming release for 2025 that were more machete, parang, and kukri blades from SHOT Show coverage. Yeah, they have some pretty cool stuff, as always. That Atayal is killer. I have to get one of those. I don't care what size, really. Even the small one is cool. The Tayal. Will B, nice to have you here, Will. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Hope you're doing well, Will. Gentleman Junkie. He's got his little ones in bed early tonight. Glad you're with us, man. Dragoon says, I don't think we've reached the peak of knives. Every time we are close, someone invents or releases a new steel or lock or deployment method. If anything, we are pushing the peak further out. I say keep pushing. Keep pushing. Though for me, steel doesn't keep me interested. I do like new lock mechanisms, and if you can come up with a unique blade shape, I'm here for it. But yeah, it's all about design, I think. Elite Turd Burglar. What's up, junkies? Hey, Turd Burglar, this is Turd Burglar is what I call people who are assholes on the road, and my daughters love it. I think something about the it's not alliteration, but the rhyming or whatever you want to call it. But I love your name. Let me just say it. Yama Wizard, good to have you here, Yama. I'm a cold steel junkie. Yeah, me too. Look, before I was pulling out knives to put on the table, I'm showing off mostly daggers tonight, but I had to. I don't know. I had to bring out a couple of large cold steels, and I just love these. Yeah, I'll put them under the knife cam, but they're just so awesome. Clip points. Cold Steel does clip points better than anyone. I think they and Emerson knives are the clip point kings. And look at these two, very different, but just beautiful. Not only in the fact that one's full dress, one's just peel ply G10, but the shapes of those Bowie blades are just awesome. Terminator Joe says, I'm hooked on the off-grid Cayman XL. It's EDC worthy and super sharp. Oh yeah, it's a big folder. And then the XXL, The fixed blade is also pretty damn sweet. Fred says, Bob, I sent it to you. Okay. All right, Fred. I will check it out. I will find it. What the hell was that? No. I will find that and send it out to you tomorrow. Hag 90 says, I actually like I like it quite a bit. Fred, here's the thing. I looked for it today. I didn't find it. So if you don't mind, could you resend it to TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com just for convenience sake? I know I'm sorry if it's a pain in the ass, but it'll help me tomorrow. And I want to make sure I get this out to you tomorrow. Hag 90 says, I actually like it quite a bit. I got rid of a bunch of new age steels. 01 is surprisingly good. It requires more care and connection, but it's more of a living and changing steel. Live steel, live edge. That's interesting, Hag. What do you mean by that exactly? I mean, I think I kind of know what you mean, but so with more care comes a greater connection. But what do you mean by living and changing steel? I'm curious about that. Yama says, my petrified fish 939, I call it the Cutlass. It's an incredible blade shape. I really love it. Well, they make really, really good folders. Josh, good to have you here, Josh. Evening, Bob, he says. Evening to you. I like your sort of Native American orca there. That's a really cool avatar. Scott E says, from my opinion, I think Kiko Matsuda with his OU31 is a constant when producing a high-end steel. Constant. Lots of other folks jump around with availability and fashionable. Great steel. Now, I know Kiko Matsuda, just from his knives, I don't know anything about his steel, but his knives are freaking sweet. Have a Knife Day showed me a really cool custom Matsuda that he has. Fred says, I will send again. Please let me know if you get it. Thanks. Fred, I'm sorry for the delay and the inconvenience, but I do appreciate it. Sometimes I get I guess I get a little lost, but I just did not see it in my email. Fishbag says, love petrified fish knives. The Havrog remains my favorite. I just like the name Havrog. Now, before I put this away, I just want to show you, I got my Buck 119 out. I love this thing. You guys like this knife? It's so good. That 0 ground swedge, that wicked sharp blade. Good to be back. Yes, it's been a while, says Dan Satermo. Dan, from that avatar, you look like a fun guy to hang out with. What do you guys think of this knife? Should I get the 120 General, the long version of this, the Scream version of this? I just love it. Matt Maurer, how you doing, sir? Bob, what up? He says. Matt, how you doing, man? I hope everything is going well for you. Todd Carr says, there are only so many combinations of this blade and that handle to do. Innovation is the best way forward, in my opinion, whether steel, locks, deployment, etc. Yeah, yep. Now, there's a balance there. You want to give the people what they want, and you want to be smart about it. If you have your tooling set up and you've got your stacks of whatever steel you have, and you can buy new G10s and give them new handle colors and sell more knives, that makes sense because there are collectors out there. But yeah, at the same time, it ends up that after a while, you're going to have to come up with something new. Shane says, one day there will be a steel with Rex 121 edge retention, AEBL toughness, and MagnaCut corrosion resistance. Yep. And Laren Thomas will invent it. Imra Dean, good to have you here, Imra. Imran Dean, good to have you here, Imran. Good evening, all. Good evening to you, man. Hope you're doing well. And if I'm missaying your name, let me know. Mars Capone 9939, good to have you here, sir, and your cute dog. There are ultrasonic knives now. Yes, I know. Actually, a maker of ultrasonic kitchen knives reached out to me, and at some point we're going to have them on the show. I am dubious at best, maybe. Or I just want to see. I don't know. I don't know. You know, everything's magic until you see it and you figure it out and you discover that there's a scientific reason for how things work. It's all magic until then. Half face blades. Thank you. Yeah, Jim dropped that in my little box. Yes. Half face blades. Thank you for that. Edgy American says, I mean lasers, vibratory blades, something other than standard definition of sharp. Yeah. Well, that's funny that you mentioned that vibratory blades, because that's what he's talking about. That's we were just talking about. Um, ultrasonic, weirdness like that. But I mean, do we need that? Is that really like, is that the best place for us to go with knives? Like, we have to turn it into something other than a knife, something that cuts but isn't a knife. I don't know. Staten Island Edge, good to have you here, Victor. Brian Winters is the reigning king when it comes to innovation. Prior to him putting, so Winter Blade Co. Prior to him, you could have said we reached peak. He changed the game a little bit, in my opinion. Yes, I think so too. Yep. Yeah, he changed things kind of the way like Andrew Demko changed things. Andrew, by the way, hi guys. Hi, Victor. Andrew Demko is an innovator of locks and stuff, and but also a great designer. And I feel like Winter Blade Co., Brian Winter, kind of did a similar thing, except a little less conventional in that it involved magnets and that kind of thing. But yeah, good point. And I wouldn't mind having one of his knives, I gotta say. I wouldn't be mad. Benny's dad, good to have you here, sir. He is a gentleman junkie saying howdy everyone. Happy Thursday night knives, fellow junkies. No way we've reached peak knife. My grandfather could never have imagined the knives we have today. Our grandchildren will say the same things about us. Yeah, but what will those knives look like? And I'm not doubting you. I have faith that things will continue to be awesome. But what will they look like? I'm just curious. Captain Ricky, good to have you here, sir. I think we have plenty of legends like Brian Winters that will keep innovating. I can definitely see a bit of fatigue in the industry, though. Yeah. I saw that like a couple of years ago, I guess, with titanium frame lock folders. Everything was titanium frame lock, and then we went back to titanium liner locks, and then things kind of. But maybe it's a matter of things like doing this as it's going up. There's a little bit of tugging, a little bit of pushing against the membrane, but not breaking through, because I still want my titanium frame lock folders, and I still want cool new fixed blades. But just keep making those. Bobby Rains, good to have you here, Bobby, maker of the Rainmaker Bowie. God, that freaking knife, man. Just let me know when you can make one for me, please. I love it. What do I got to do, Bobby? Do I got to beg? Get on bended knee? But anyway, Bobby, great to have you here, sir. Go check out Bobby Rains the second on Instagram for some just beautiful Bowie knives. Also, it's fun to watch him power lift with homemade weights and do his Bowie knife sparring. It's cool. Good to have you here, Bobby. Also, check out the podcast. We had a great conversation. Strings, nice to have you here, Strings. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and all you junkies. Hope everyone is well. Looks like a humdinger of a winter storm moving in here this weekend. Yes, sir. I am in the greater DC area, and apparently it's the end of the world coming. Will B says the girls are at my parents' since we both work tomorrow, though they probably are in bed already. That's awesome, man. It's so great to have support in the form of parents close by. Yeah, that's nice. Nice to think of the little ones curled up in their grandparents' house. Jody Darden, good to have you here, Jody. The industry won't stop because the more innovative oddities they can come up with, the more money they can charge. Yes, I believe that. But those oddities, those innovative oddities, oftentimes don't come from those companies. They come from the Brian Winters, the people who are toiling in obscurity, in their own shops until they break through somehow. So as long as there's some sort of tension between those companies and those innovators, and a desire to capture their innovation, and a desire for those innovators to make it big, we'll be in good shape. Fishbag says, I sincerely hope knife design of the future isn't limited to the K-Bar TDI being available in Space Force Blue. No, Fishbag. Craig, I know you're not only looking at the K-Bar website. It won't. Don't worry, man. But I wouldn't mind having a TDI in Space Force Blue, or a K-Bar, just a straight up K-Bar in Space Force Blue. Edgy American Blade says, turd burglars are people that just show up for giveaways. Oh, really? That's funny. I'm sure we have a few here because we do a lot of giveaways, but you probably get it by now. I'm not someone who really hangs on how many subscribers I have. So like, doing these giveaways is not about turd burglars and getting people here. It's more about keeping this room uncluttered from all the awesomeness that Dave sends me, and Mike. And yeah, got to get it out of here. Otherwise, it'll be subsumed into my collection, and I'll have more knives that I admire but don't carry, and I don't need more of those. Ron, good to have you here. Ron Meek, he says, I used to have a Spyderco Szabo folder. It was cool. Those things were freaking sweet. Though the one thing that I always thought was a little bit of a buzzkill about the Szabo Spyderco folders were the fact that there was a little bit of a stop on it was a compression lock, but a large one. It was like a 4.25 inch dramatic sort of Persian blade, and it had the compression lock, but you couldn't just whip it in like every other compression lock. It had this little stop where it would stop so it wouldn't chop off your finger if you had it in the way or whatever. And I always thought that was kind of like, we can handle it. If we chop off our fingers, it's our bad. But I love the look of that. Also, it has that very dated carbon fiber handle, but that is what it is. 3211 Company, good to have you here. I love the Buck 110 clip the most. Okay. I no longer keep all of my Buck 110s on the table, but I do have this beautiful 112 from between 1974 and 1980. Not sure when exactly in that window it was produced, but I love this thing. This was given to me by a friend in the neighborhood whose father passed away. May he rest in peace. He had some knives. He had a couple of 112s, and my buddy was like, here, I don't need more than one of these. Take this one. And yeah, I was like, thank you so much. And his father carried this one, and his father was also a badass, which is kind of cool. So some cool badass knives from my friend. I got this one, and I'm really grateful. This has been one of my favorite acquisitions of the year, just because it has a lot of meaning to it. Anyway, I love the clip point on the 112 and on the 110 and on the 119s and 120s. I just think it's dramatic and beautiful. I love the curve, and I love the fact that on the fixed blades, that swedge, that clip is 0 ground. So, when I'm in my knife fights, I can do my back cuts. You get it. Todd Carr says, also, people like Big Brown Bear, Super Steel Steve, Brian Kim, Steingraber Performance Knives, etc., pushing the limits of what steel can do. That's true. That is true. All of those guys. I don't know Big Brown Bear personally, but everyone else I do. And yes, and I admire Big Brown Bear and 15V. And apparently, after this current run of lightweight paramilitary 2s that just dropped at SHOT Show, apparently when those are gone with the 15V is done due to shortage of elements or something like that. I don't know if that's true, but I heard someone on one of those one of the SHOT Show videos, breathlessly speaking such drivel. Hopefully that's not the case. Dragoon says, I'm leaning into steel more to expand my collection. I realize I own mainly 154 cm out of 100 knives, maybe 15 are S35 and up. Doesn't matter. 154 is probably overall my favorite steel. I have a lot of custom fixed blade knives in 154 cm, and I have a bunch of Emersons and Benchmades, and well, I don't have a bunch of Benchmades, but I have a bunch of 154 cm that I really love. It takes a great edge, sharpens easily, is reasonably rust resistant, and keeps a good edge for a long time. It's a great, don't worry about people telling you, oh, you need to have more. I know you're not, but I'm just saying. And that used to be, what was that? What was that? Well, I'll remember. Yama says, a Espada large is on my short list to match my XL. Yes, I love the Espada large. Let me just show you this up close. This one has S35 VN. It's got the aluminum bolsters, nicely snail trailed, and that shiny contoured G10. This thing is just beautiful. I have a G10 version of the Espada large with the old style blade, which has a longer clip that backs up a little bit further down the spine. It looks a little bit more like a Spanish clip point than just a sort of standard Bowie like this. But this one I also love just a lot. So, yep. And if you can find on eBay or somewhere a hollow ground version, I highly recommend a hollow ground version. Oh, come in, darling. Commander Bell, good to have you here, Commander Bell. Good evening, junkies. Question: there's such a thing as a meteorite blade. Yeah, that the King Tut dagger. So the dagger that was found in King Tut's tomb in the 70s, it was determined that that was made out of meteorite. And yeah, so there is, and I know that some modern makers have gotten their hands on the iron from meteorite and have made knives out of them. Have a knife day says, just got back from a trade show. Good evening, junkies. Great to have you here, Michael. Hope you're doing well. Elite Turd Burglar says, yeah, that's right. Says apparently a turd burglar is someone who just shows up for giveaways. I've been told, but I don't think Elite Turd Burglar. He's elite. He says my knifedom journey might have peaked with the Rosie. Well, the Roosevelt from Oz Blade Company, Oz Manufacturing, is an outstanding knife and by all accounts one of the best out there. Gaston, nice to have you here, sir. I didn't know this was your name. Monesquieu. Hello all. This is James. Hello all. Bob, yours is the peak knife show. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I just want to bring my lovely lady Mari in for a second. She has something she wants to say.
I just, hello, Knife Junkie Nation. I just wanted to say a special thanks to Dave of OG Blade Reviews. He gifted me this beautiful knife, and I just wanted to take a moment to thank him and also show this knife off. This is the Reich knife cicada, or Reich knife, yeah, cicada,
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can see this. It is just so beautiful. Thank you so much, Dave of OG Blade Reviews. This is it's a 2-inch single edge dagger. You'll excuse me. Bob always has the. No, there we go. Okay. I mean, look at this. It's beautiful. It's almost 2 inches. It is a single edge knife with, oh, thank you. There we go. With the bead blast finish. And it is absolutely stunning. Thank you so much again. It does have a button lock for reliability. It's this one right here, not this one. I keep pushing this one, but it is this one. And the handle itself is made of a single piece of gold iodized titanium. And it is just, it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of art. And it actually comes with this necklace. So if you want, you can beat it through and you can wear it. And I assure you, Dave, I absolutely will be. This is stunning. And thank you so much. I just really had to come on the show and thank you in person for this beautiful gift. So that's that. Thank you.
Well, date night. That's like a great date night piece of jewelry.
Oh, I will proudly wear this. I'll wear this in the office, just because no one will know that,
Yes.
and it could really complement everything. It is about 2.5 ounces, so it's quite light as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's titanium.
It's titanium. Titanium. Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but again, just wanted to say a special thank you. This was really a thoughtful gift and totally unexpected, which made it that much nicer. So thank you so much, Dave. All right, I'll let you get back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Steve, if you're watching, good night.
Bye.
I love you.
I love you
Good
too.
night.
All right. Well, so Dave gave her that and he gave me this at the same time. And have a good night, baby. I've been loving this. I've been carrying this a lot. It reminds me a bit of this is the Max Ace Lanius. And it reminds me a bit of the Microtech SOCOM Elite. It's got a little bit of those like hints in there. And that's one of my favorite knives. And so this one immediately rocketed to the top. I love this thing. Malcolm, good to have you here. Malcolm Holt. Hey. Howdy, Bob, and all you junkies. Good to have you here, Malcolm. Burnin' Stables Forge. Hello, guys. How are we? Good to have you here, man. I love your name, Burning Stables Forge. That's a great name. I got to check out your work on Instagram. Have a knife day. Oh, sorry. I saw something there by Have a Knife Day. But yeah, so Dave sent a package of stuff. I made a video. I'm going to show that off. But in that was my wife's gift and my gift. And thank you so much, man. String says, I've been enjoying the Microtech SOCOM Alpha Mini lately. Great EDC fixed blade. Huh. What is this? All right. I think I can imagine what it looks like. But I don't think I knew about that knife. Eric Mack, good to have you here, Eric. I feel that we've reached peak knife. I feel that some makers take their customers for granted. I'm satisfied with the collection I have. I'm putting my money into coin collecting at the moment. Eric, speaking some truth, man. Okay, well, tell me why you think, get specific in your next comment, if you would. I want to know how you think some makers have taken their customers for granted and all of that. And I get it. Like, I think that collecting is a state of mind and it can vacillate from knives to watches to pens to coins to, there are a lot of sort of parallel collecting universes. So I'm curious why you elaborate, if you would. 3211 company says, get the 117, the Brahmin. All right. Yeah. And that special 117. Ooh, there it is. Look at that. Oh, that's a beauty. Jimping all the way around. Nice. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm sure I was saying something before. Jason, how you doing? Straight Edge Knives, Big J Roadstar. How you doing? I'm doing great, man. I hope you're doing well. Jason just posted a bunch of great videos from SHOT Show. Jason, I don't know. I watched everyone that I saw pop up. Great coverage of SHOT Show, man. Adrian Fighter 35, good to have you and probably your better half with us. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Hope everyone had a great day. Hey, Bob, I also have my Recon XL sitting in front of me. It stays right by me every day at home. Good. I mean, we all need a Recon XL close at hand. And I'm not even being sarcastic. Have a Knife Day says, I've gotten the Microtech SOCOM with ram lock and really like it. Very smooth operation. Oh, shit. Okay, so I just saw Juju 1313. What was his name? What is his name now? Sorry, I'm having Blade Brotherhood. I'm having a hard time remembering his name. Great dude. He's Carter is his name, and he's been on the show, and I can't remember what his current handle is. He's changed it a bit, but he just had a Ramlock SOCOM on his channel, and I didn't know where it came from, but they make them now, and I gotta get one. Edgy American Blade says, in my opinion, Buck made the best looking clip points. They do, but that's odd, Edgy American, because I thought you didn't like the, and I'm not trying to get you in a gotcha moment, but I didn't think that you liked the curved swedge. Thought you liked a straight one. Terminator Joe says, my Kukri house order is delayed. The Apollo and the Tonto are done, but they had an issue with the brass in the Muso Bowie. So they said they had to forge a new one. Jeez. The brass. Why would they have to forge a new one because of the brass? Well, I don't know. I'm not a knife maker. Lost Shark, good to have you here, Lost Shark. Good evening, fellow junkies. Well, good evening to you, sir. Hope you're well. Just in from work and picked up my package on the way in. Sweet, sweet. So nice to come home from work, having decompressed during the drive, and maybe listen to a podcast or whatever, come home and see a package on the front steps. And you're like, yes, this is a fraction of what I do this for. It's not the only thing, but this is what I do this for. And anyway, so just in the top Frog Market Special and FMS XL. How cool. I love that knife. And so I made when I was making knives, I wasn't making knives. I've made about 20 knives in my day, on and off, every once in a while. And I made a Frog Market Special for a friend, and he used it for a long time. Who knows? He might still be using it. But I love that design. Frog Market Special is like a Vietnamese cooking knife or kitchen knife, and Tops makes 3 different sizes of it. Very cool. Check it out. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says 45,000.2 subscribers, Bob, inching closer to 45,000 subs. Yes, inching is the operative word, but that's how we do it here. I'm not gonna rocket to stardom here. No, that's far below me. I am going to suffer my way to the top. No, I'm just kidding. It's a slow build, but we're getting there, and we're getting there. And what happens when we get to 50,000 subs? Dirk Pinkerton's going to make us a custom knife, and I'm going to give it away here. And it's to anyone. It's not just to gentlemen junkies. This will go to anyone. So stick around. When we get to 50,000 subs, you will have your chance to win a custom Dirk Pinkerton knife. Hag90 says its chemistry is not as stable as stainless. The patina is always active and changes the apex and the surface. This is 01. It's self-heating in a sense, so the apex needs more care. The blade and edge are alive. That's crazy, but kind of cool. It's like glass. Glass is a liquid, and the glass in your windows, those are all liquid. They're just very slow moving liquids. That's why when you see, nowadays, I don't know, there's probably all sorts of stuff in glass making it more than that. But when you see old glass and it's sagging and it's got those ripples, it's because it's a liquid and it's slowly settling. Prove me wrong. That's my chemistry lesson for tonight. Or as my daughter says, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Terminator Joe says, would a lightsaber be would be peak knife? Probably. Yeah, that's about it. Edgy American, sorry, Shane says, if you've experienced good geometry and a Klingenwerk sharpening, which I have, we don't need much more. And what's he talking about? Klingenwerk. He's talking about Kyle Kunle. Oops, I just knocked my camera. Kyle Kunle and his Klingenwerk sharpening service, who took my single-edged Perfrico and made it double-edged. And man alive, did he do a beautiful job. It is so incredibly sharp and even and everything about this. He's really took this 98% awesome knife and just threw it over the edge with the double edge. And Shane has all of his knives done by Klingenwerk, by Kyle. So Shane makes the knives, Kyle does the sharpening, and they come out beautifully. In this case, Savivi made the knife and Kyle did the sharpening. An American Father says, I'm not a collector, in quotes. I'm a user with a lot of tools, but I would be just fine were there never another knife innovation. Okay, all right. So I know exactly how you feel, because with the tools for my work, I kind of feel the same way. And the tools for my work happen to be computer programs, but they're always updating it. And I'm like, well, that update, that was just to keep someone employed. Like, you did not make this a better tool with that update. And so I can relate. Like, if they left that tool the way it is until I retire, I'd be fine with it. But maybe, is that the sign of an old man? I don't know. Maybe, could be. But and that's not to say we're about to move to a different tool that's supposed to be even better. I'm excited to use that tool, but I'm sure once I get really used to that tool, I'll feel the same way. Yeah, I can do what I need to do with this. And that is that. Fishbag says, I'm a junkie for sure. However, at least 50% of my collection consists of cold steel. I guess that makes me a specialized subchapter of Knife Junkie and a shameless cold steel fan all in one. I think they call you, Craig, a fanboy. I am too. Guilty as charged. But I'm a fanboy of cold steel, Emerson, Dirk Pinkerton. I mean, I'm more of a fanboy of designers, but for sure those companies, definitely. Mars Capone says, I saw an ultrasonic craft knife. It can cut materials like plastic better than a normal knife. Excuse me. The user is safer as well, but don't imagine having an ultrasonic EDC. Yeah, all right. I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, I know you've seen this, and I believe you, certainly. But is the user safer, really? I mean, if it cuts better than a regular knife, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I fear change. I'm an old guy. At this point, I've gotten to the point where I'd rather see things stay the same, as I just mentioned. I got to get over that. I once had a friend who said, as soon as you stop keeping up with like mainstream technology, you're getting old. And that's kind of me with AI, though. Jim, who has definitely pioneered AI, at least in my life, has gotten me to appreciate it a little more and use it a little bit. Kyle Coonley, good to have you here. Klingenwerk, sir, says, did someone say sharp ultrasonic cutters are already a mold and engraving tool options that work well, but are very expensive? And I'm assuming you're not holding these things in your pocket. I mean, ultrasonic, that's got to be connected to an energy source, right? I mean, right? Imran says, I appreciate you making the effort to pronounce it correctly, sir. Also, how is your 001 in Nitro V compared to AEBL or ADCR V2 for TKL? You know, I'm pretty sure I only have, my latest one is Nitro V. I'm pretty sure, and I have to be 100% honest, sir. I have not noticed much of a difference. I haven't noticed any corrosion difference, and I don't use that knife so much that I would notice an edge retention difference. I'm embarrassed to say, but that is the actual honest to goodness truth. My 001 is generally reserved for self-defense. Not that I use it for that, because thank God I don't need to. But When a cutting task comes up, I usually pull out whatever my EDC is and not that. So I'm embarrassed to say that I can't really give you a good answer because I haven't noticed a difference in any of the corrosion across any three of those steels. And I have like 6 001s from the various releases. Canary SK, good to have you here, Canary. I think the future of knives will be highly customized, maybe with 3D printed materials that haven't been invented yet, printed and assembled at home. I see lawsuits in the future. Lots of lots of lawsuits. Strings says, I hope companies focus on new designs instead of the same tired knives dressed in the newest super steels. Our knives cut long enough, strop it, and it'll stay sharp with any decent steel. Yes, I see what you're saying, Strings, but I also commiserate with those who love like really obsessed with one design. Like you have your Spyderco paramilitary 2 collectors who have 30 different versions of that knife in the different steels. I get that. That's sort of the case knives model. They have the same patterns over and over year after year. They put it in different dress, different, occasionally a different steel, but different cover materials, and it's collectible that way. Kyle Kunley says, Toddy, yep, I was speaking of things like NFK and Fordham, etc. Companies that make ultrasonic and electric cutters, grinders, hammers, and polish for molds and jewelry. Okay, that I missed. I think you mentioned that last time, but I glazed over it. You're talking about cutting for things like jewelry. My mother makes some beautiful jewelry. And I know she doesn't have an ultrasonic cutter, but I'm sure she'd love it. She's a tool junkie herself. The Rye Dog 61. Good to have you here, Rye Dog. Buck Slim Heritage Elite is my next knife. Oh, very nice. I just put it away. I had my Buck Range Elite out. I love that knife. That's one of their most recent EDCs just released. Have a Knife Day says, I have a sincere love for the Buck 120 General and would greatly appreciate having it available in the custom shop for a short time. Yeah, I bet you would. Have a Knife Day carries fixed blade knives on his belt on the regular. Am I right? I'm not speaking out of school, right? And what a cool knife to have on your belt. One of these, but larger. And with some sort of custom shop adornment like a stag handle. Love this knife. Malcolm Holt says, due to inability to heat high enough, due to inability to heat high enough in manufacturing. All right, I've lost track of what exactly you're talking about, Malcolm, but I'm sure you're not surprised. Burning Stables Forge says, got a bar of 154 cm. I want to do something with it. Yes, do something great, sir. I know you can do something cool with it. But in a forge, you can't forge 154, right? You got to just, that's stainless, right? So you have to stock remove it. Is that right? Or am I just kind of a rube when it comes to knife? I'm pretty sure like high carbon is what you forge, right? Set me straight. Leon the Toyer, good to have you here, Leon. Hi, everyone, he says. Well, hello to you, man. I hope you're doing well with your fractals. Blowing my mind. Scott says, Buck have a winning formula. Never get tired of them. And the 119 is one of my all-time favorite knives. And this has come from a guy who's got a collection of swords and very high-end knives, too. Robert Jones, good to have you here, Robert. With your Groucho Marx and your piece. That Groucho Marx, when Carol Brady used to do her Groucho Marx, it used to make me cringe, even as a little kid. James says, my sharpest knife in my collection is the Green River Traditional Hunter in 1095. But I think it's more due to how thin the blade is. This is a knife that all of you, possibly James, introduced me to, and now I'm seeing it pop up in my feed and other places. And yeah, like to a dork like me who thinks tactical knives are the coolest thing ever, and swales and swoops and notches and this and that and jimping, These Green River knives are simplicity, usable simplicity, and kind of, put to shame all the bells and whistles. Takar says 15V won't be made currently due to foundries not being able to hit the higher temperatures needed to make it. What is happening? Can see it being available at some future point. All right. So we are losing manufacturing capabilities. We are losing the ability to design a beautiful building. We're losing the ability to actually build a beautiful building with the adornments that we used to do before we had all these high-tech machines we have now. What is the point of all this technology if we cannot keep up with our former selves? That is disconcerting to me. Have a Knife Day says, I also have in a spot a large like yours, but a 50/50 VEF serrated blade. Ooh, I love those VEF serrations. Burning Stables Forge says, I've seen a lot of meteorite knives, lots of guys making with it. Oh, nice. Expensive, though, no doubt. But you get some beautiful colors, right? Some beautiful colors coming out of that. Eric Glesser, thanks for joining us, sir. Greetings, thy fellow knife brethren. Well, greetings to you, Eric. I love your design, sir, and your company. It's capital. Sebastian, nice to have you here, Sebastian. Hello, everyone. In my opinion, just because something changes or time passes, it doesn't mean it improves. Just look at today's cars, tools, etc. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm a fixed blade knife guy, so reaching peak knife doesn't concern you probably. I know we're going to get it in a second, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Thomas McDonald, good to have you here, Thomas. Oh, Reich Cicada, cool. Yeah, it is very cool. What a nice gift, Dave. Thank you, man. Thomas EDC Gates, I love your avatar. That's very cool. Howdy, y'all. Howdy to you, man. Hope you're doing well. Ma Faiwani. I feel like I should know what that says. I'm just gonna call you Ma. Ma Deuce. Ma, how you doing? Looks ceremonial. Are you talking about the cicada? The cicada definitely looks ceremonial. Beautifully sculpted, all from one piece of steel. It's no wonder, or titanium. It's no wonder that Microtech chose Reich Knife to do the SOCOM Bravo and that other one, that uglier one. I don't remember what that's called, but I like it. Ron Meeg says, peak knife is knives that can shoot the blade at things and another replaces the blade you just shot. Yep. All right. So we got a ways to go. I think you're right. The knife handle manufactures the new blade and it pops out after you shoot it. Scott says the cicada is a gorgeous knife. Yeah, man, they do incredible work over there. Good to have you here, man. Mikey Bobby. I recognize the face. The handle I don't, but I know the face. Sometimes we get the name and sometimes we get the handle. Anyone got the plug on dinosaur toe scales, preferably T-Rex or Raptor? I don't know if you're making a joke, but I'll take a Raptor scale handle. Ma says, thank you for interrupting, lady. Yes. I'll take an interruption from her pretty much any day, anytime. Lost Shark says, that's a lovely design. Very fun knife. Your wife was gifted a unique piece, nicely crafted. I couldn't agree with you more. And OG is the man. That's so nice. You are most welcome, knife wife. Glad you like it. I will let her know you said that. She said her piece and then scuttled off. I'm sure she's fast asleep at this point. Sebastian says, correlate with time, but how much thought has been put to a design and skill the knife maker has? Knives have been around for thousands of years, and a perfect heat treat Damascus Bowie or... Oh, this is a continuation from his last... All right. Gotcha. Burning Stable says, on YouTube as well, the Knife Junkie checks out. Think you'll dig it. Okay, cool. On YouTube as well. Okay, I'll check it out. James says, yes, the Buck 117 Brahma is an excellent all-around field knife. Oh my God, I've been yammering for an hour and 10 minutes, and I haven't even gotten to the pocket check. Lost Shark says, Alpha Mini? Yeah, I'm a fixed blade guy myself. I don't have maybe a dozen folders. Yeah, I love them both. And right now I'm in a big fixed blade phase, but I can't just give up my folders because I know I'm going to come back into a big folder phase. All six caps, good to have you here, all six. I've been rocking a Jack Wolf Knives Melissa Backwoods fixed EDC clip point. I just made my video of that today. I love it. It might be the perfect EDC for me. The sheath is so nice as well. It is a very nice sheath. It's a beautiful blade. It is a little small, but man, that point is super acute, super precise, and also pretty damn robust. I've used it a lot. Mostly that knife I've used for the tip. But yeah, I'm with you. I think it's beautiful. What handle material do you have? I'm curious. Burning Stable says, growing the channel, 312 subs, stoked, but I'm at 14 hours in the shop now to call it a night. Appreciate the community. Much love. Have a wonderful night, Burning Stables, if you're leaving us now. 14 hours in the shop. That's great. I will check you out on YouTube and sub to you this very same night. Burning Stables. Actually, I should just, if I don't do it now, I ain't never going to do it. So let me just, sorry. I know this isn't good TV, but Burning Stables Forge. Gotcha. And I'm subscribed. Subscribe to you, sir. All right, so go check out Burning Stables Forge on YouTube and lock in, guys. Let's see. Let's follow him. Let's see what he's making. Let's see what he's making. All right, now it's done. Let's get to the pocket check.
What's in his pocket? Let's find out. Here's the Knife Junkie with his pocket check of knives.
In my front right pocket today, I had the beautiful M390 bladed, we'll bring it over here, Hinderer XM18 Warncliffe. This has been reprofiled and resharpened by Jared Neve years back. At this point, I dropped this one on its point, and he took care of it. He did a great job, man. He is an awesome sharpener. I'm sure his books are so full at this point, he's hard to get to, but he did a number on this M390 and really brought it back. This was one of those, like my Yojimbo, just dropped it point down on the concrete floor. It felt like this, and he totally hooked it up. So beautiful job. I haven't carried this one in a while. This is my only three-way or tri-way pivot Hinderer. I keep it on the caged bearings on this one. Not much to say about this knife, but that it is awesome, but not as awesome as the XM24 Warncliffe, which is, I love it even better. Great knife, even though it's a Gen 3. All right, next up, I had the beautiful, which I've been carrying a lot and quite robust, Jack Wolf Knives, Tracy LaRock designed Timberjack. This thing is awesome and big. Look at how big it is compared to the XM18. I mean, it's almost there in it's pretty much there in terms of blade length, a little bit shorter on the handle, but a beautiful Tracy LaRock design. Tracy LaRock is a custom knife maker who makes these Timberjacks and can't keep them in stock. So they teamed up, and Ben Belkin is now making the Tracy LaRock Timberjack in this production form. Now, Jack Wolf Knives has this, I believe, in 5 or 6 iterations. 2 of them are lightweight in G10. This is one of those 2. You got the green G10 liners, and then the contoured and cross-hatched black G10 scales with the cool snake knot cord and that incredible 154 cm blade that's full height hollow ground and that beautiful swedged drop point. I'm a huge fan of this knife so far. I'm loving it. The only thing I would like even more is if this knife had a clip. And I'm not a huge pocket clip on slip joint kind of guy, but it would really work well on this one. So there that is. Okay, next up in my waistband today, I had the Hogtooth Knives Ruffian, an old favorite. If you're familiar with this show, you recognize this knife. I got this 3 years back when I turned 51, and I got this at, well, I paid a visit to the Hogtooth shop in Massachusetts, and he had a couple of these blanks, and I laid claim to this one and picked out the handle materials, and the rest was history. I love this knife, and this is definitely a winter-ish kind of knife, winter and fall. It's not that big, but it's on the bigger end of fixed blades I like to carry, and it's a little bit heavy, you know, a little bit bulbous on the blade. I mean, on the handle, but it's all curved and rounded, so it doesn't harsh my love handles too much. So it's a real favorite of mine. And also that 154 cm blade with that deep hollow grind is just an incredible cutter. All right, lastly, for emotional support, my ESK today was the beautiful, love this thing. This is the Steadfast Large, or Steadfast L from Work Tough Gear, designed by Calvin Richardson, who was recently on the show. And after our conversation, I already have the smaller version of this, the original Steadfast in the 5.5-inch blade. But after our conversation, he got me so pumped for this 7-inch version, which he didn't have to do much work to get me pumped. But I right after that, I ordered this knife, and right after we spoke, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I've only used it to make feather sticks and to cut up a little bit of wood for a fire here. I like to just on the weekends, I just randomly burn fires and hang out by the fire pit. And this was my knife one time. So it's robust, K329, but I haven't pushed it anywhere near its limit. But I love this knife. To me, it's more of a fighting knife than anything else. So this is what I had on me today, a strange assortment, but an assortment of very cool knives. I had the Work Tough Gear Steadfast Large. I had the Hogtooth Knives Ruffian. This is a fan favorite. People love this knife. Go check out hogtoothknives.com to get one of these, or a small pocket-sized carry version of that. I had the so hard to put back, the Timberjack from Jack Wolf Knives, and then the Hinderer XM18 Warncliffe. That was a DLT exclusive, no choil version of that knife. An American Father says you can't completely blame the knife companies for getting lazy when there are so many out there screaming for 4 different steel versions of the same knife. You're absolutely right about that. Really, it's like a path of least resistance. Oh, really? We don't have to come up with a new design. All we have to do is put this in 3V. All right, deal. American Father says the idea that the steel makes the knife has become a thorn in the side of the industry. Yeah, I don't think that's so inaccurate. I do not disagree with that. Edgy American Blade says, no, sir. I did like the Texas Bowie where it gets wider at the clip. I thought you didn't like that. No, sir, I did like. I think that's what you meant. SOCOM Bravo is made by Reich Knives. Yep, yes. And it's no wonder, because the Bravo has always been more sculptural. And for a long time, Microtech was making it. And then a couple of years ago, they outsourced it to Reich, which was the right decision, because even though Reich doesn't make knives that I like that much from their own in-house design team, they are capable of doing incredible manufacturing. And I think that's why they did that. Correction, I dislike that. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, let me show you what we're giving away tonight. String says, hit the thumbs up, ladies and gents. Couldn't agree more. We are giving away Hero Sticks. Good to have you here, man. He says, evening and cheers all. Evening to you, man. We're giving away this petrified fish PF969. Thanks to Dave of OG Blade Reviews, who just recently sent me a box with 4 very cool petrified fish. This is just one of them, and had a couple of Civivis and a Sen cut in there. And then, of course, my wife's gift knife. And then I got my gift knife, which was this beautiful Maxace Lanius. But this is what we're giving away tonight. All you got to do is put #knife in the comments or in the chat, and you will be entered in, let's say, 4 minutes. You will be entered in to win this knife. So at 4 minutes. Keeping an eye on the timer. This is D2, and I'm sorry, K110, which is like D2. A beautiful harpoon clip point blade with that nice big opening hole with that little kind of lobe protruding down into the opening hole. Interesting design flourish. Not sure why they bothered with that, but there it is. Nice jimping both on the handle that continues and on the blade, so it continues onto the blade there. You also have it right here in the pinky position. Great for the pinky, but also for the forefinger in reverse grip. This knife works great in reverse grip because it has that little peak to wrap your thumb around. Got a beautiful sculpted clip there and very thick liners. So a nice and robust knife. Thank Dirk for making me a knife for the 50K giveaway, says Strings. Oh, I will. I'll thank him for sure. So hopefully you get it, and hopefully Hero gets it, and hopefully everyone else who's here gets it. I've got a few knives going to Kyle for reprofiling. Super stoked. Oh, Hero, you're going to love his work. Ma says, that's a sick dagger. I missed the name. Oh, this one. This is the Civivi Perfrico. I know it's a weird name. Perfrico. And the P-E-R-F-R-I-C-O, Perfrico. But it comes single-edged, and that just stuck in my craw. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful dagger, but it's meant to be double-edged, so that's why I sent it off to Kyle to be done. So I really recommend this knife, and I've seen, just go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/Civivi to buy it. And use that coupon code, TheKnifeJunkie, and this could be yours for a song, just a song. But I've seen a Peterbilt knife guy put this knife through some serious shit, and it came out the other side just fine. This is 14C28N blade steel and super awesome. Super awesome. Brian Walter, nice to have you here, Brian. Can wood stain be utilized to stain bone handles? I don't know. But you know what can is RIT dye. So the same kind of dye that you use to dye micarta or your G10s can be used for bone handles. Here's a big problem. A lot of the bone handles don't come off, so you got to put the whole knife in. And actually, for me, that hasn't been a problem. I've only ever dyed the bone on case knives with stainless blades. I think as long as you dry it out, as soon as you pull it out, it'll be just fine. But you have to boil it and throw it in there. And I do know that works. Gary Bucco says, dude, you should have been 100,000 at 100,000 a long time ago. Well, I couldn't agree more, Gary. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Jason Small, good to have you here, Jason. Made it, Bob. And now we have ground to move in knives. What? And now we have ground to move in knives. I think I know what I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. Todd Carr says, yep, really old single pane glass windows are always thicker at the bottom due to it slowly running down due to gravity. Usually takes many years for it to happen, though. Glass is liquid 100%. Yeah. But takes like 100 years for it to start to ripple. Pardon me. #knife in the comments for this. We're going to give this away in a minute. 1 minute. We're giving this away. We have hardly anyone signed up to win this. So just put #knife. You don't like it? Give it to a friend. Look like a hero. All caps, all 6 caps says that cold steel scorpion lock is really cool. Scorpion lock. What is? Oh. On the 8015. Is that what you're talking about? Is that the scorpion lock? 5-door. Good to have you here. 5-door. Greetings, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Whoosh. Greetings to you, man. Hope you're doing well. Vlad Tepes. Good to have you here, Vlad. A knife is a knife is a knife. Now, as far as toughness and durability goes, give me a better example than cold steel products. I'm not sure if I can. I love cold steel products. Vlad says, at least as far as folding knives are and fixed blade knives. Their fixed blades are sweet. I'm thinking especially of the Trailmaster. What a great knife the Trailmaster Bowie is. One Moon Collective. Nice to have you here, One Moon. What's up, Knife Junkie and friends? One Moon, hashtag knife. Put it in the comments so you can win this knife. We're going to do it in 15 seconds. Ma said, I got my 001 Zombie last week. It's my current EDC. I love the Zombie edition. And I've never been much of a zombie knife guy, but when I saw that, I was so thrilled. And then the Lightning version is also super cool. Sebastian says, how can something be better if it's more complicated and more parts can fail? Oh, my lightsaber is out of battery, or one of a million parts fail, or maybe you will need a subscription to use something. Oh, that's so on point, Sebastian. It's like cars today. You know, a lot of cars like Volvo and Mercedes-Benz, they want to move to the subscription model. So if you want to use your heated seats, you got to subscribe. You got to subscribe to that and pay extra every month to have your fucking heated seats. That is such an outrage to me. But I see what you mean. And the more complicated something is, the more difficult it is to fix, the more likely it is to break. And yeah, I mean, I see your point. String says maybe different steels for collecting, but they all cut. And that's the point. That is true. Hammer says, hello, Hammer 777. Hello to you, man. All right. This is it. You all have 1 minute to put hashtag knife. And I'm looking at the counter now. You have 1 minute. Okay. 1 minute. And then we're giving this away. This is the beautiful petrified fish PF 969. It's got this beautiful harpoon clip point blade with the interesting opening hole with that little notch, little tab in it for extra visual appeal. And we have a flipper tab, and we can slow roll this. We can flick it. We can thumb flip it. We can front flip. We can do all sorts of ways we can open this knife. The only thing we can't do is front flip it. There's no front flipper. But this thing is good to go. You've got a contoured G10, also with some cool milling in there, but that's nicely rounded. Fits the hand great. You got nice jimping, continuing from the handle onto the blade, a sculpted pocket clip, a cool sort of jimped back spacer. You also have a little jimping here, and then a beautiful cord fob with a nice bead on it. And here we are. It's time. It's been more than a minute now. Minute and 15 seconds. All right, Jim, let's do this. 83 people. Let's do this in 3, 2, and before I say this, whoever wins, send me your address, TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. And 1. All right. And we know it's gonna tease us and stop, and then it'll go one more and let us know who won. And today it's Marin Fisher, UM4VO. Marin Fisher. Congratulations, sir, presumably. This is going to you. You just have to send me an email at TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. Send me your address. I will get this in the mail to you most likely tomorrow. And most likely you'll have it by Monday or Tuesday. Presuming you're in the lower 48. So definitely send me your address. And congratulations, Marin. Sebastian says the simpler something is the better. in my book. Wish cars would go back to what they were 25 years ago or even 50. Yeah, I read this book called Lucifer's Hammer, which was, oh man, it was a good book, but it's about this giant asteroid that doesn't hit Earth. It just kind of goes by it. But as it's glancing our atmosphere, it spews a shotgun blast of planetary mass at our planet. And so our planet is hit by all these asteroids, not just one, goes into this huge post-apocalyptic world. It's a quite a book. It's awesome. But the protagonist happens to have an Edsel, an old Edsel, and is one of the few working cars around because it doesn't have any electrical circuitry in it to get fried by the EMP that happened when this asteroid rained down rocks on us. So I'm with you, man. That's my long way of saying I agree. Imran says, would you recommend Nitro V or ADCRV for the 001? It depends. For me, I guess I would say Nitro V because it is very, very stain resistant and it's pretty tough. And to me, the 001 is a self-defense knife, so it will very frequently be close to the body. So you might, depending on where you are or what season it is, you might be sweating on it or at least have condensation on the blade. So maybe Nitro V if all things are equal, and those considerations make sense to you. ADCRV 2 is also awesome. It stains a little bit more. Though I don't know about with the nickel boron coating that TKL puts on. I haven't seen any stains on my ADCRV2 TKL knives, but I have seen them on my very good knife company, ADCRV2, and a couple of others. And that's just the nature of the beast. Terminator Joe says, new takes on old designs are always welcome. Wouldn't mind having a folder version of a katana. Yeah, I feel like we've seen those. But yeah. Well, let me think. Hero Stick says, knife peak, great topic. I have my first set of custom scales coming, and it's got me thinking. New knife that could peak, or peaking knives I already love through custom enhancements. Huh. Yes, and yes. I mean, you got to be open to newer cool knives to bring into the fold, but at a certain point you got to get past, well, okay, maybe not you gotta, but it's at a certain point I got past my ravenousness. Now I like to joke, yeah, send me every single cold steel knife and I'll send back the ones I don't want. Yes, I kind of feel that way, but also in realistic terms, like you got to rein it in a little bit or they'll start to own you. I'm such a hypocrite. Have a Knife Day says some real innovation, not just making the same knives with small sizes. I feel that Benchmade doesn't have the range of designs like they used to, even though I love the ones they have. Yes, I could agree with you on that. Benchmades all kind of look the same. They don't do much in terms of fixed blades. They used to do really cool stuff like the Siebert designs, the Siebert fixed blades. Those were awesome. And he's the guy who designed the Adamas. I would like to see a Tonto Adamas. Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be really cool. Like we're seeing the Tonto, the tops. There's a new tops version of the old. It'll come to me, but there's a new. God damn it! What's it called? Excuse the French. Sorry, I hate getting older. I'll remember. Burning Stable says, yeah, stock removal on that one bar of 154 cm. Okay. I forge 15N20. Oh, yes. 15N20, 1084, and 80 CRV2. So, Burning Stable, maybe you have insight on this 80 CRV2 versus Nitro V. I know they're very different, but what's good, Bob and all? Laser Ghost Knives. How you doing, Donnie? Great to have you here with us, sir. I had a couple of Don's knives here under Bless Knives. He's changed his name, but man, he hasn't changed his make, and he's got some beautiful knives. Very well done. Burning Stable Forge says, I love you answer every comment. It's pretty cool. I don't. I answer whatever Jim puts on screen for me because I know I miss a lot of stuff in the chat. But thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hero Stick says, I'm seeing a lot of companies making slight adjustments to locking mechanisms and calling them their own. Not exactly innovative. Winterblade stands out to me as a truly innovating these days. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like putting a button on a compression lock and then calling it something new. Top button lock or whatever they call it. Yeah. Vlad says it's like the time Coca-Cola changed their recipe temporarily. I remember that. New Coke. It's like, who asked for new Coke? Like, when you got a business that's just a moneymaker worldwide, everyone wants Coke everywhere, all the time, worldwide. Why do you go change that? That doesn't make sense to me. But hey, I'm not the head of Coke. Carrying a cold steel Tiger Claw plain edge today. Knife requirements have peaked. Only looking, needing to pick up classics from the past. Yes, sir. Carrying the cold steel Tiger Claw. There are a lot of great classics from the cold steel past. Strings, who's in the chat right now, helped me get behind the wheel of a Desperado, a knife I wanted for basically the fixed blade Vaquero I wanted for so long. Takar says Crucible was the only foundry that could make the steel 15V and the high heat treat it required. So when it closed down, no more 15V. Once some other foundries are upgraded or built new, they could make it. That's very interesting. That's sad. That's freaking sad, man. Bobby Rains says, we're like the Saxons living in Roman ruins. Then didn't have the technology to maintain. They didn't have the mech. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. Absolutely. We are like that. And we also, and I don't know if the Saxons lacked the respect, but we also kind of lacked the respect of the past when people could do stuff. I don't know. We just outsource everything. And I'm not talking about to foreign countries, which we do that too, but I just mean we outsource our thinking now to these AI chat bots and stuff. And I don't like it. Cesario, nice to have you here, sir. Evening, Bob, and good folks. Evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. D. Letterman says, yammer on, Bob. All right, I will continue to yammer. It's what I seem to be able to do. Laser Ghost Knives says, Bob, why are your walls so bare? Freaking me out. Oh, sorry. Don, we've had some emergency house stuff happening here, and I pulled everything off my wall. I thought all of these walls were coming down. They are not. Only a wall over there, but I had to clear out this room, and this room is it's got about 30% of the stuff it normally has in it. Once our wall is reconstructed, we're taking bids right now. We're not sure if we have to have our ducts replaced. I don't think we do now. So long and short of it is we've got a lot of stuff happening here. And at some point, this room will be rebuilt. The walls will be painted. All the swords and knives will be back up. But for now, I'm not putting them all back up and then taking them down because I'm just not sure when we're hiring someone. It could be next week, could be in 2 weeks. So I just don't know. But yeah, that's what's going on. Don't worry. I haven't sold them all, to get crack or anything like that. It's like, oh, I don't need this, Chris. Let me give this. No, it's not happening. Desert Trance, good to have you here. Good, sir. Made it, just got back from the theater with my rib splitter. I love those knives. I have a Draug. Ready to go in my Bastinelli shoulder holster with my Elvia from Turner CNC as a backup, followed by my S&W Performance Center shield. Very nice. But back from the theater. Now, were you seeing a movie or was it the theater? Were you taking in a play or were you watching a moving picture? Which was it? Have a Knife Day says, normalizing the wear of fixed blades is part of my mission. I love it. I love it. It should be a part of all of our missions. Burning Stable says, okay, for real this time. Going to sleep. Love y'all. Good night. Well, good weekend, Burning Forge. Those 14 hours in the forge paid off. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but they paid off. So have a fine evening. Rest well, sir, and have a great weekend. Jim Lander, nice to see you here, Jim. Hope you're doing well. Hi, everyone. It's been a while for me. Yes, it has, but there's always a spot for you at our coffee table. Vlad says, tried a few push daggers. Vlad, I love push daggers. I need more in my life. Got the Cold Steel Master Tonto. Excellent knife. They just feel annoying strapped to my side compared to a blade I can wave out of my pocket. I could see that. If it's pressing in and you got to get used to it, you got to loosen your belt, maybe even a size larger in the jeans. If you're gaining weight like I am, and I don't know how, like I used to be able to just lose it like that. Something happened. Oh, I got older. Burning Stable said, I keep watching. Wow, rad bro. Thanks so much, Radical. Thank you, man. Take care. Have a Knife Day says, I really dig that blade shape. Oh, which one? James says, YouTube forces post to show your handle instead of name. Why is that? They've changed that. But you can still call me James. All right. For me, peak production knife is the Sharp by Design Evo Typhoon, thin grind, great handle, and the best clip. So one knife that I call a perfect folder is the Sharp by Design Arch Nemesis double-edged dagger. Oh, that thing is so cherry. And I know that like that's not one of his production. I mean, it's one of the ones that he makes himself. Brian Nadeau makes himself that he doesn't have anyone else make. Pardon me. So I can't call that production, but it is a perfect folder. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, Spyderco Yo Jumbo case Sodbuster Jr. with case slip. Very nice. I love the Yo Jumbo. I love it. I sculpted the handle a little bit, made it a little more comfortable to me, but overall, I love that knife. Hero Stick says, carry my Hinderer half track, Warney, and Pete's Pirate Life harpoon fixed blade today. Very, very cool, especially on the we're thinking alike today, especially on the Hinderer Warncliffe. Jacob Green, good to see you here, Jacob. Good evening, fellow junkies. Good evening to you, sir. I'm glad to catch this live stream. Work was exhausting, and I had a notary assignment as part of my new side job after that. I'm glad to be home relaxing with a cold beer. Sounds great. Everyone needs a notary from time to time, so that's a cool side hustle. You know that's never going to go out of style. OG Blade Review says, Thursday Night Knives gets my juices flowing. Just grab the Work Tough Gear Devil Horn Tonto at DLT Trading. Oh my God, that is a cool one. And looks very EDC-able. All right. So Dave and I have this unspoken, it's definitely not a competition. He's way outdone me in terms of knife collecting, but he'll get stuff and I start to seethe with not envy, but jealousy. There's a difference. Jealousy is just like, I want that thing too. Envy is like, I want that and I don't want him to have it. So I don't feel that, but I do feel jealousy where I'm like, yeah, why don't I have that? Why don't I have the Work Tough Gear EDC Tonto? Like, this is ridiculous. Dave has it. Dave, congratulations on your purchase. I can't wait to watch the video. All Six Caps says, I have the Camel Carbon version back with, as do I. It's very durable so far. Yep. And a beautiful sleeve board handle on that knife. OG Blade Review says, today's carry the Cold Steel Mayhem with Snaggletooth. Awesome. It came in. That's awesome. The CJRB Double Tap, the Dauntless Musashi, beautiful knife. North Mountain Element, Pinkerton Ferrule Folder, also awesome. And I have something for you. Sorry, it's taken me so long to get it to you, but I'll get it to you this week. And the Immolent GR36 flashlight. Well, I have a package, Dave, from Dirk to send to you when I'm done with it, and it has something cool for your ferrule, your folding ferrule in it. And I think you know what it is. String says, in my right front pocket was the Dirk Pinkerton designed Kaiser Nomad in anodized titanium. Now that's a knife that Dave just featured on his channel. What a cool knife that was. Left front pocket, Leatherman Signal and Victorinox Locksmith. And on the belt, cross draw, Microtech SOCOM Alpha Mini strings. You're ready to go, sir. Hope you had a great gig tonight, because you usually play on Thursdays, I think. Takar says Leatherman Surge and extras, SOG PowerPoint, Swiss Army Knife Fieldmaster Cold Steel 8010 in S35 VN, the Kaiser Militaw in Nitro V, Demco Nano Shark in 20 CV, fifth pocket, and the Steingraber Performance Knives Sasquatch in Rex 121. He also had an Olight i3T and an Arkfeld UV with a Forest Hank. Very nice. Kerry Todd, as always, nicely done. That Kaiser Militaw, that's a Jonathan Styles design. Jonathan is from Newfoundland, which is a crazy place. Vlad says, give me a flexible clip and something you can wave out of your pocket faster than a switchblade any day. I'm with you on that, man. For folders, I love something you can wave out of your pocket. I guess I would say a majority of my folders you cannot. I guess by a vast majority you cannot, but I do love them. Some of these big cold steels, if you have them in your back pocket, you can wave them out just on the thumb studs. For some reason, I can do that in my back pocket without anything else, but can't quite figure it out in my front. But these big thumb studs can act as waves out of the back pocket. Fishbag says, today was the 8010 Tonto. I love the look of the 8010 Tonto. The 5 Max, and they just announced a 5 Max Light. No, 5 Max Scout, which will be cool. XL Vaquero Serrated, excellent choice. The Frenzy 2, the Swift 3, Lucky 2, Spyderco Manix 2 lightweight, Kaiser Phoenix, I don't remember what that one is, and the Buck 104 Compadre on the belt. Craig, nice carry as always. We have a lot of really, what do you call it? Strident cold steel fans here. Ouchie EDC, good to have you here. That big. That is freaky. That's freaky, man, with the eye and the lip and the eye, that big. I don't know what you mean. I'm not with it, you know. I noticed this. Yeah. I have a lot of contact with the teenage folk, and I'm not with it. I don't even know what the eye, lip, eye means. I feel like I should know what that means. Split and Slices says Carrie is an off-grid knives all-day necker. Off-grid knives Cayman XLRD. Ooh. So that's the XL with the Red Dawn carbon, or the Red Dawn G10. Rosecraft Blades Nullichucky Jack and Stag, and the Knife Junkie and Hogtooth Nova 1. Byron, a classic. Thank you for carrying that. I love hearing that. It just floats my boat. Cesario says, good evening, Bob and folks. #knife. Cesario, unfortunately for you, someone else won tonight's knife. Someone named Marin. Hopefully he has sent me his email address. Cat Scratch Knives says Reich did an amazing job on the Bravo. Yes, I agree. And the Bravo, the small one too. They did that little one. Dragoon says Petrified Fish nailed K110. Takes a hell of a beating. That's cool. That's good to know, because I have not put the very few. I've only had 2 Petrified Fish and never put them through the ringer, and they both had K110. All 6 Cap says, damn, that Jack Wolf Timberjack is so sick. Yeah, it is. It is a very cool little knife. Now, know that it's little, but man, is it great. I really like that knife. Vlad said, and I think it's the only the second knife that doesn't have a full height hollow grind. It's just a mid-height hollow grind. Vlad says, I've tried to appreciate more brands, but after I've had cold steel, cold steels, nobody can really give me a legit advantage cost to effectiveness that merits branching out. Yeah, no, Vlad. If you want to branch out, you have to get emotional about it. You have to get emotional. You can't make so much sense as you do right now. You have to see a design and say, I don't care what it's made out of. I have to own that. And then you'll be able to really branch out and become a true, junkie. Jesse Reisbach, good to have you here, Jesse. I noticed how nice and sharp my EKA RTG1 gets. Good old Rowan 1095. So this is a what is that? EKA. It's something in the rat kingdom, I think. Miranda, good to have you here. Miranda Wilmore. Hey, y'all. Well, I hope you're doing well. I think that's Strings' better half. I mean, I know that is. Jacob says, my carry today was a neck knife called the Varmint Skinner. I like it. No doubt what that is. Pakistan made 2.5-inch blade. Meister steel. I absolutely love it solely because of the name Varmint. What are you going to do with that knife? I'm going to skin me a varmint. Fishbag says, Bob, I once confused a Civivi Perfrico with a La Aurora Perfidios. It was almost a catastrophe. I don't even know what a La Aurora Perfidios is. Is that dirty? It was almost a catastrophe. Tell me what is that? What is that thing? Ma says, too bad this can't be delivered to Canada, so no point in participating. Good luck, y'all. Ooh. Have I sent knives to Canada? I think I have. Vlad says, on that note, I remember my first car with electric windows. It wouldn't break ice in the winter. I thought, you're shitting me. What's wrong with this, with the fucking crank down? What are you talking about? Wait. What? Vlad, I've lost track of our conversation. James says, well, if it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Oh, James, you have good luck, man. You ride a recumbent bike and you haven't, and you've got a great collection of kukris and you show up here every week. How could it get any better? My dad had Lucifer's Hammer on his bookshelf. All caps, read it. It's good. It's good. My wife got me to read that years and years ago. I don't even know if we were married when I read it, but it was awesome. And I'd like a little bit of post-apocalypse every now and again, as much as the next guy. But it's considered a sci-fi classic, I'm pretty sure. And I'm not a sci-fi guy. My wife likes sci-fi and fantasy and all that stuff. Desert Trans says, are you bracing for this massive storm, my brother in blades? You know what it is? It's the Lowe's Home Depot lobby. They finally got every year they get to the news agencies and whatever. They grease a few palms and they say, oh, storm's coming. And then everyone goes and gets their salt and their shovels and everything. And then nothing happens. Am I right? But it looks like this one actually might happen. So I'm not, I've got everything I need already in the house. Hopefully. It'd be nice. It'd be nice if it all happened on Monday, but we'll see. Are you? Let me know. Are you battening down the hatches? Ghost 9119. Ghost. I love cold steel too. Oh, yeah, man. What's your favorite Ghost? What's your favorite cold steel knife? If you can pare it down. I don't know if I can. I can make a top 3 probably. Or a top 10. Canary says, did the guy in that book have a dog? Yeah, I think he did. Yes, and I think they ate it, actually. I've seen a music video with a similar concept, only the car was nicer than an Edsel. And he was with a dog. Yes, and like I said, I believe they ended up eating the dog, which we all might have to do. Just kidding. Just kidding. My dog, he's too sweet. I'm not going to eat him, though he'd probably be like, all right, if you got to eat me, okay, because he's such a good dog. Desert Trans says, Kind of a knife-esque question. With you being a fan of music, have you listened to Mac DeMarco? He is a sharp artist. I have not, but I like the name. What can I say? I have noticed that a lot of people take the name DeMarco as a first name, which is interesting. I like that. String says, any word on your new TKL design? No, sir. Nope. I have it sitting right over there. No, I owe Tim a call, and we'll talk about it. But you know, I can only go on his production schedule, and I'm not going to rush him on anything or try to rush him. Not like I could if I wanted to, but you know, yeah, when it comes out, it'll just feel like gravy. Like, oh, you're ready for it? Sweet. No, but I can't wait. That'll be cool. I have the 3D printout over there, and it would be a cool one. Hopefully it comes to pass. Craig says, peak, knife peak. I do it all the time. An American father says, time for me to head out. Have to run the coyotes to the other side of the county before they get snowed in over here by my sheep. Oh, man, don't let that happen. Stay safe, friends. A proper knife has no moving parts. An American father, thank you, man. Be safe out there. And, oh, man, just know that while you're doing what you're doing, all this cool, manly outdoor activity, a lot of us wish we were doing the same thing. So savor it and enjoy being out in God's real world. And have a great weekend. Jay Demeter, nice to have you here, Jay. Hola, Bob and Junkies. Aloha. I'm sorry, not hola. Aloha, Bob and Junkies. I just like hearing you say aloha. Well, aloha, sir. I said hola. So, geez, what a rube. This guy ain't Hawaiian. He must be from Ohio. Scott says, talking about the end of days, I noticed Zombie Tools has brought out a two-handed Apophis. Just saying. Apophis. I'm not sure if I know what that is. Is that the leaf-shaped, double-edged Greek, like pre-Copus Greek sword? Like the really early double-edged wasp-waisted blade. Is that what that is? That'd be cool. Sebastian says, the knife that has impressed me the most was the Cold Steel Leatherneck SF. Saw a video on Joe X channel. He literally tortures the knife he tests. This guy is a Peterbilt knife on steroids. Yeah. And he went away for a little while. What happened with him? Well, he's in Russia or in Ukraine or somewhere, and he couldn't get his message out for a while. Something like that. Now I don't remember, but yeah, he is cool. He beats the crap out of those knives. Peterbilt knives, cuts nails. Joe X cuts cars with the knives. Yeah, no doubt, man. All Six Caps says, we are going to be screwed in the Southeast if this ice hits. Yeah, because now I'm in Northern Virginia, and we have snow plows, and we have you can always tell when they're expecting snow because you drive on the roads and you see the lines of dried liquid salt. They have a water dissolved salt that they spray all over the roads, and then it dries into lines, and you can tell, oh, they're expecting snow. That's how I know. I don't really look forward in the weather unless I have a shoot coming up and I need to know. And man. Bob, have you ever carried the Bassinelli shoulder holster? I carry a rib splitter, and it deploys like something out of a silly Hollywood movie. It's epic. I highly recommend it. All right. Well, since you asked, I was wearing this all during dinner, and then I sat down, and then I ended up taking it off. But here's mine. And I keep the Bastinelli knives, I keep the Station 9 knives number 12 undercover in mine, and I have it in such a way under my right arm so that I can pull it out and have it in reverse grip, or just kind of go like this and then pull it out and have it in forward. So yeah, I love the Bastinelli shoulder rig, and yes, I dig it. And yes, it's right here. Laser Ghost Knife says, Bob, good to hear you didn't lose a bunch of stuff. I was worried. Oh, man. Yeah. No. Thank you. Lost Shark says, yes, the classic cold steel spikes are my favorite. I have 5, 3 Tokyo spikes, 1 Tonto spike, and 1 Bowie spike. Love them dearly. Super great for throwing because they can sink in deep. Yeah, they're nice and thick and they're single piece. MS12 says 15 feet. Oh, beautiful. I love that picture of Jupiter there. 15V just costs too much to make for a relatively small demand. Aerosteel is focused on Magnamax instead. Their ESR is great, but not optimized for 15% vanadium. Desert Trans says, it was a symphony, Bob. I was a peasant amongst high society and always heavily armed, even though it wouldn't be looked down upon in the liberal crowd. Oh, man, it would be looked down upon in the liberal crowd. Typhoon, I have a Typhoon Swell, the katana of Mugan from Samurai Champloo in folded 1095. Oh, so nice. All right, guys, I think that's about going to do it. I got to get up in 5 hours with the hidden Tonto at the base of the scabbard. Oh, how cool. How cool. Gary Bucco, give a thumbs up, people. Yes, guys, give a thumbs up. You all have an awesome weekend. Hopefully, if you're hit with snow, you're hunkered down. Hopefully, you've gotten your salt, you've gotten your food just in case, and you have a 55-gallon drum full of water or Uzis in the basement to take care of business. You want to help support the show and become a gentleman junkie so you can win on the third Thursday of every month, win something spectacular. Join us here on Patreon. Go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/Patreon or scan the QR code. Save 12% when you join for a year. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. It's always the best. I love Thursday nights. For Jim, working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying until next time, don't take dull for an answer.